Well, the big house is already rocking. Michigan and Fresno will kick off the 2024 football season.
For us, it's not about the number or the ranking or anything like that. We have to go prepared to win that game. And whoever you're playing, it's to face this opponent.
Our hair's on fire. We just can't wait. I'm waiting for this moment for a long time.
Around this building, we say you have to respect your opponent during the week to disrespect them on Saturday.
Inside Michigan Football is presented by Meyer. Hi again, friends, and welcome to another edition of Inside Michigan Football. Doug Karsh alongside John Jansen. The defending national champs start the season 1-0 with a 30-10 win over Fresno. A win is a win, and there's a lot to get better before Texas comes to town next week.
Yeah, they're going to have to get better in a hurry, but it's much more pleasant to get better after a win than it is a loss every single time. And a lot of the improvements are simply assignments, which are easy to fix. Some of it's awareness, which, again, once these young players that are seeing the field for the first time get a chance to see things at live speed, they're gonna, in the comfort of the meeting rooms, they're gonna be like, oh, I get it now. And so a lot of those things will be self-corrected.
All right, well, the Wolverines' big play defensively early on. Great quote from Zeke Berry after the game. Tips and overthrows, we got to get those.
We got to get those every single time. And obviously there's a tip. He comes up with it. It's a great way to start off defensively.
And then Alex Orji comes in. They rotated quarterbacks. Did you like that?
You know what? As long as it works, sure, we could say we like it. But it's when Alex Orji comes in, it's almost predetermined that it's a run. So that's one thing that they're going to have to caution themselves on. But you also have to stop it.
And they broke a tendency by throwing with him for the touchdown, if you can establish a tendency in the first quarter of the first game of the year. But the offense didn't exactly cruise early in this game. They really didn't put together sustained drives after that first touchdown. What were some of the reasons for the struggles?
Well, it was nice to be able to capitalize on that. When you get that opportunity, you've got to make sure that you do. So they do, and then all of a sudden, instead of starting on the 35-yard line, the plus 35, you've got to start backed up on the 20-yard line. And there were times where, hey, you'd get one or two plays that would work well, and then something would break down, they'd have to punt. Part of that is some of the things I talked about before, where you have, your tight end falls down, or you have a missed assignment, or a miscommunication. I saw a lot of that up front, and when you have 5 new guys up front, some of those miscommunications are going to happen. They've got to iron those things out to sustain those drives.
Okay, so it was in the second quarter. Michigan at this point had negative 10 yards of offense in the second quarter, and they bring in Greg Crippen at the center spot, and they start to get Khalil Mullings going here. They start to get some run game, and that guy, Colston Loveland, gets involved. This drive really was the beginning of the offense getting going.
Yeah, and it's Davis Warren getting comfortable, getting Colston Loveland the ball. 2, it's Greg Crippen. You've got a veteran guy in there, calms things down a little bit. I know he wasn't in there long, but sometimes that's all you need is that calming presence. And I really felt like Khalil Mullings all game long had a good feel of what the defense was trying to do to stop him, and he was able to hit a lot of those cutbacks.
All right, so now Colston Loveland gets involved. He's going to be an All-American tight end if nights like this are typical.
Yeah, and hey, Davis Warren, you've got to find that target that you're most comfortable with, and whether it's stressful times or it's just you need to get something going. Colston Loveland's going to be he's the biggest target on the field, and he's got great hands.
Dominic Zavada finished that drive off with a field goal. It was 10-3. He had a good night. All right, the defense in the first half. They took some chances in the secondary, but the pass rush was effective.
The pass rush was, whether it was bull rush, it was speed around the edge. When you get tackles that are guessing on what you're doing, I've been in that position, it is uncomfortable and it is at a huge disadvantage. And then in the middle, Mason Graham had his way with guard, center, guard. It didn't matter who he was against in the run or the pass. He was living in the backfield.
All right, let's go to Jansen Vision for a look at some of the first half highlights.
Yeah, this one comes in the first quarter, and this is Samaj Morgan, who's going to start over here. He's going to come in motion, and he's going to eventually get the ball. But I want you to keep an eye on Donovan Edwards, Miles Hinton, and obviously Colston Loveland. When these guys pull, all right, you see the setup right here. You get a big guy out in space, you gotta love it. But the key block right here is Colston Loveland. And he does a great job of keeping his feet moving, keeping the defender in front of him, so when he comes off to the side, he doesn't get caught for holding. You're gonna have Donovan out here, he's gonna take out 2, Miles Hinton in here. You've got a train running down the tracks and no way to stop him. Great block by Donovan Edwards, and he did just a great job in blocking today. And the second play that I'm going to show is this one's on the defensive side, and this is Jayshon Barnum. How I talked about he was lined up over the center. All right, this is going to be what we call a cross dog, because technically Jim Rolder is going to stand right behind him. You're going to see Barham go in here and Rolder come around the side, and what it does is it speeds up the operation. All of a sudden, you feel this threat of somebody, and all of a sudden you're throwing off pace, off balance, and that's where you may not get the pressure physically, but the pressure is there on the quarterback.
And our final play, big day for 18, and this was in the second quarter.
Yeah, and here's what I want to show on this one is you've got Colston Loveland. All he's going to do is come up here. He's going to sell that he's heading out and then come back in here. But I want you to watch the protection and the great protection you're going to have here. And when you see this opening in the field, this linebacker can't get back fast enough to defend Colston Loveland. And as it starts to play here, you're going to see he comes in the middle here, and there's just no one there. Great job, great vision by Davis Warren to see that was going to set up.
That was a tight window, well-delivered football. We'll come back. We'll have our thoughts on the second half, and a little bit later on, we'll hear from the head coach, Sharon Moore, here on Inside Michigan Football.
Feels good to get a win in college football, so happy about the win. Got a lot to clean up, but we'll get there.
Takes the snap. He's going to roll to the right and throw. He's got Donovan Edwards out of the backfield, who will walk into the end zone.
I love how they work together. There's no beef. They respect each other. They love each other, and we know they're both going to take care of us.
The pass fires. He's got Colston Loveland inside the 10 to the 5. Colston Loveland to the end zone.
Just really proud of the group, the way we fought, the way we battled it. It was one of those days where things didn't feel easy out there, but I was proud of the way that we just found a way to keep pushing through and made some plays when we had to, and ultimately got the win.
Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meijer, presenting sponsor of the 2024 Michigan football season, proud sponsor of thousands of local sports teams across the Midwest. Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by University of Michigan Health. There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. To learn more about Michigan's best hospital, visit michigananswers.com. Doug Karsch, John Jansen back at the Big House Inside Michigan Football. Let's go to the second half. At halftime, Sharon Moore told the team in the locker room on the offensive line, be violent. The Wolverines finished the first half with a field goal. They got a field goal out of their first drive of the second half, and they were more violent. Khalil Mullings making some runs.
Well, Khalil Mullings was doing a great job of those cutbacks all day long, but it's really those backside blocks where everybody says, it's hard to be violent back there. If you can wash everybody down, and that's where the defense wants to go, hey, I'm not going to fight it. Just push them that way.
They were 0 for 4, Michigan, in the first half on third down. Colston Loveland with 2 conversions on 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 4 on this opening drive.
He does a great job of understanding, one, down and distance, where he's got to get to pick up that first down, but also making himself available to the quarterback. And as I've already mentioned, he's a big target. You put it anywhere near him, he's going to catch it.
Dominic Zavada, a career-long 52-yard field goal. Michigan was up 13-3. The pass game, still a bit of a work in progress. We saw a couple of instances where the Wolverines, the receivers didn't find the football in the air.
Yeah, and some of that could have been the lights. Some of it is just simply not understanding and not having the best relationship yet with your quarterback. Sometimes when a quarterback is under duress and you've got to understand that there's a blitz, you've got to look back a little bit sooner. Whether it's you can't find the ball or you don't see it, those are all things that I mentioned are easy to work out. Hey, pressure, look quicker.
Wolverines got some timing things to straighten in the pass game. All right, this was a big drive later in the game. This is Alex Orji, maybe his best play. This is a third down quarterback keeper, and he gets a first down, and this is where you see his skill set on display.
Yeah, I mean, whenever he's in the game, there's always a threat to run the ball, and he does a great job on those read options of identifying who they're optioning, whether it's the outside linebacker or end, and holding that ball in the running back's belly. Sometimes you got to give it, sometimes you got to keep it. He does a great job of making that decision.
This drive also featured some hard running from Khalil Mullings. We'll have that later in Jansen Vision. And then the 18-yard touchdown pass to Colston Loveland. He had a career high in receptions and just shy of a career high in yardage.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one where you can see he catches the ball on about the 5-yard line. Just the desire and the drive to get in and not have to, bring everybody back out to try for a goal line stand.
We talked about third down conversions. Here's Samaj Morgan over the middle on a 3rd and 6. Young receiver sits down in zone coverage, and Davis Warren, delivers.
Yeah, and he knows it's 3rd and 6. He's got to get past that first down marker. He goes to 8, he gets it, he gets drilled, gets driven back, but he knows he caught it in first down yardage, so it's a first down.
And then another career high from Zavada, this one 55 yards. Good. Michigan led the game 16-13. Later, it got interesting, but Will Johnson with a highlight pick returned to the house. We'll look at that at Jansen Vision. Let's go to second half Jansen Vision highlights.
Yeah, and we're going to start off here. I want you to see, this is the one where Josiah Stewart made a big hit out here, but why was that available? They end up dropping Josiah Stewart into coverage, and they bring everybody from this side. Well, this tackle right here, he's setting out here on Josiah. He's setting on a ghost because he doesn't end up rushing. Tries to get back inside to help out, but as he does, it's too late. All of a sudden, hey, Mason Graham, he's already creased this. You've got unblocked pressure coming from over here, and now all of a sudden he outlets it to the receiver, and Josiah Stewart does a great job of closing and making the play there.
All right, the big bus got going. We've talked about him in the second half, Khalil Mullings.
And this is one where you just see everybody wash down this side of the defensive line, but I want you to watch Colston Loveland here. This is not an easy block. You got to stay square. You can't allow him to pinch across your face. You don't want him to leak out backside. He does a great job as Khalil Mullins approaches the line of scrimmage of staying square. That's the key block there. Everything after that is all Khalil Mullings, and it's a thing of beauty.
All right, and finally, Will Johnson, big-time player, and this sealed the deal.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been baiting the quarterback all game long. You can see he's got his eyes on the quarterback. He knows exactly what's coming. That's film preparation, something that we've heard a lot about from Will Johnson. And as soon as this ball is released, I want you to watch right here. The ball's not even snapped. Will Johnson's already starting to creep towards the line of scrimmage. He hits it in full stride, and there is absolutely nothing that's going to stop him. And look how fast he is. It's unbelievable.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Michigan.
Will Johnson gets the turnover buffs, and Michigan gets the win over Fresno, 30-10. Ed Kangursky has our Iron Man of the Week. That is coming up. And later, Michigan head coach Sharon Moore here on Inside Michigan Football.
It wasn't the prettiest at times, and felt like we were getting behind the sticks and struggling a little bit with just little things here and there. It wasn't anything major. But to get the win, to go out there when we needed a drive, and to really put it to him and finish it off with, first touchdown pass, that was pretty special feeling.
Back to pass is King. Here comes the rush, and he's dragged down back at his own 37-yard line by Josiah Stewart.
Defense came out hot, started off the game hot. We had our slips, but that happens. We count on the offense to, have our back and keep it rolling.
King fires quickly, it's picked off Will Johnson, and he's in the clear.
I've seen it countless times already, only been here one other season, and I've seen it plenty of times. So when I'm seeing him catch that flat route and taking it to the crib, I'm like, yeah, that's Will. You can't try him twice.
Left a lot out there, but just proud of how we fought at the end there. And when we needed to get it done, got it done. Always good to come out with a win. Now we're just got to have a great week of prep for Texas.
This week's Elrose Steel Iron Man of the Week is tight end Colston Loveland. The All-American from Idaho hauled in 8 passes for 87 yards and scored the insurance touchdown in the 4th quarter. Get used to it. Loveland will be a go-to option for this club all season long.
Being one of their number 1 guys is it's a blessing. Wouldn't want to be other way. And then, I just want to be the guy that we need something to happen. I can go out there and make it happen when my number's called.
He's quarterback's best friend, just security blanket. I know I can go to him and throw him the ball. And at the same time, I feel that way about 8 and about 0 and about Kendrick Bell and about Marlon Klein and Brady and Dono and Khalil. So those guys I know, they're prepared when their number's called and the opportunity presents those to them. But if they give us the opportunity to throw the ball to 1-8, we're gonna throw it his way, and he's gonna make plays for us. And he did a great job getting in the end zone on that one.
Quarterbacks, as we know, were the hot topic going into this one, going all the way back to last winter. Davis Warren got the start, went 15 for 25, and he told us he felt more than prepared for the moment.
I was prepared for the nerves, and I was prepared to play the game. And Coach Campbell did a great job preparing me, preparing us as a quarterback room to really go out there and play well. And I felt like, definitely some plays I want back here and there, but overall, I felt like I operated the offense well.
Warren re-emphasized the competition under center is a healthy one, as he and Alex Orji each tossed their first career touchdown passes.
We're like best buddies, truly. We really care about each other. We respect each other's games. We respect who we are. We're always texting each other different stuff about quarterbacking or just random stuff that, we both like, and it's a really cool relationship.
When you root for each other like that, that is the sign of a healthy locker room. Stick around. John Jansen goes one-on-one with head coach Sharon Moore when Inside Michigan Football continues.
Our conversation with the coach is brought to you by Meyer.
Feels good to get a win in college football, so happy about the win. Got lots of cleanup, but we'll get there.
What did you see differently from the first half to the second half from your team?
I thought defensively, all game really was pretty consistent. Made plays, got pressure on the quarterback, kept him uncomfortable. A couple deep balls. We had one missed assignment on the touchdown. But besides that, those guys played really good. On offense, a little up and down. We got to be more consistent. That last drive was good to see those guys pick it up and really run the ball well and hit Colston in the end zone for a touchdown.
Davis Warren, obviously his first start. What'd you see from him?
Yeah, I thought he was good. He had the pick early, but also receivers got to do a better job of going to get it. And for us, it's going to be about find those playmakers to go make the plays in those big time situations. But I thought he did a good job overall, controlling the offense.
In the second half, we saw Khalil Mullins really take off. What did you see from him? Was it a hot hand decision?
Yeah, he was running hard, physical. He's 220 pounds, 6'2", so he ran behind his pads and ran physical, so it was awesome to see.
And then the offensive line, obviously a position that you and I love dearly, and we had a chance to see. Not always perfect, but they got the job done.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to clean up, always hard on those guys, but I think they see the things that they can do better, and we'll definitely get those cleaned up.
Colston Loveland, 8 catches. He was there all game long. Just talk a little bit about his performance.
That's how he's been in camp. He's just all over the place, plays hard, plays physical, plays tough, hard to cover, make all the great plays. He's going to be mad about the one drop, but I thought he played really well.
We saw Will Johnson take a gamble early on in the game. It didn't work out. Yeah. In the second half, in the fourth quarter, it did.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a smart player. He knows when to take gambles, and he was so upset he got beat on one ball, and that's the competitive nature in him. So you love to see it.
What do you expect to see from week 1 to week 2?
Yeah, we're gonna improve. We're gonna work hard. We're gonna put our hard hat on and just make sure we get back in the lab and get better every single day. We're gonna correct the film tomorrow as a staff, and then correct it with the players, and get to the next game.
Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Keene takes the snap back to pass. Fires crossing route. It's tipped and picked. Going the other direction. The Wolverines picked off. It is Zeke Berry. His first career start.
It being the first game, it's a big win all the time. They win every game. But, it's the season opener. So, it's a big win for us and starting off the season strong.
So many new pieces on offense, and so many new pieces on the team. Just finding that gel, finding that rhythm. It might not, and it didn't just happen right away. But, we all know that, and we all understand that, and we all know that each week is important. Each practice is important because we need to get better and gel together and learn how to play together.
All right, Michigan beats Fresno 30-10 in the opener. This Fresno team might be a problem for teams in the Mountain West. We'll watch how their season unfolds. Michigan's season gets real next week. Man, Texas comes to town. First trip to the big house, it's going to be a wild atmosphere.
It's going to be an unbelievable scene. And when you commit to go to a program like Texas, or when you commit to come to Michigan, these are the games that you dream about. And they get this one early. It's a departure from what we've seen in the non-conference. This is as exciting as it gets this early in the season.
All right, talking about the Michigan offense, are they ready? Earlier in the show, you implied that there's a lot of stuff that's easily correctable.
It is, and whether it's awareness on the field of first-time players being out there, first-time quarterback, young receivers, all of these things, sometimes there's an aha moment, and they'll have that in film, and coaches will make sure that they have the aha moment. And whether it's that or it's just simple footwork, there are a lot of things out there that they'll be able to fix quickly.
All right, it's Michigan and Texas next week, and we'll review it right here on Inside Michigan Football. We'll see you then. Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meijer, presenting sponsor of the 2024 Michigan football season, a proud sponsor of thousands of local sports teams across the Midwest.